Hello, this message is for Andrew Gates. Andrew, I'm Dr. Amelia Beschen. It's nice to meet you. We've been kind of chatting online, but now this is a face-to-face kind of a thing, as best as we can do for an online course. What I'm going to do for you right now is kind of talk you through my critique of your video assignment. This is from week 2, if you remember. You were asked to watch 5 of your classmates, or 5 videos from one of your classmates as they were interviewing people, asking them what is sustainability. And your job was then to pretend that you had the 5 people that you had interviewed in one room and talk to them as though they were there and convince them that sustainability is something that every global citizen should be concerned about. So I'm going to walk you through why you got the grade that you did. As you already maybe have checked online, you did a phenomenal job. I appreciated that you dressed up. I thought that that was really kind of a great effort. And as you see, I've dressed up today as well, because I believe that dress is a considerable part of how people may take you seriously. Now, imagine if I were sitting here in gym shorts and a t-shirt. It's a pretty hot day outside, so that would be really easy to do. But I took the time to dress up and present myself in a professional manner in the hopes that you and maybe others would take me seriously today. We'll see how that goes, but there is something to be said about dress. Plus, then it conveys confidence. You maybe feel better when you dress up, and as people take you more seriously, then you start to feel better about yourself. So nice work on that one. Solid job. You engaged your audience as well. I thought that was particularly good. You spoke articulately, which I am having a little bit of trouble doing right now myself, just based on being outside right before coming in to record this video. It's kind of a hot day out there, so after this I'll probably get a swig of water or something like that. But I enjoyed that you engaged your audience. You used their names even, which was very, very good. And you found some of your audience's strength, which is also a very important thing to do. You took the time to congratulate one of your audience members for using sustainable business practices. I would say, as you maybe have caught on to me as well, this whole camera situation might be a little bit awkward, but watch your use of ums, because you may want to take a look at your own video. They were quite frequent. So sometimes we use that as a space filler, but it does not convey confidence then. It kind of detracts or distracts from your message. So be mindful of that, and I do the best that I can to be mindful of it myself. It might be very different if I were actually speaking to you right now, or maybe in a big audience. But yeah, I can see how sometimes the camera and the awkwardness behind videotaping yourself might have contributed to the number of ums that I heard on video there. I also really appreciated that you took the time to encourage one of your audience members by saying, I'm sure you've heard more about it than what you've let on regarding sustainability. It's good to grab their attention again, even after you've addressed them maybe right up front at the beginning. About part of the way through, they may lose interest or attention, but if you say something like, Andrew, maybe you were at that point in time, right before I said your name, you may have been falling asleep, you may have been doing a number of things, but when I say your name again, you start to pay attention. So I think that that was also really good. You established credibility as well. I don't know if you caught yourself doing this. You're the only one that I noticed that said, as someone who has been studying this concept for a while, and then you led into what you were talking about, which I think is quite important for people to understand. They will listen to you more if you've got some credibility. Now, within a 5-minute time limit for the video, I would say that that was pretty sufficient. You may want to consider, once you've got your audience's listening ear and you're preparing for a 20-minute presentation, figure out a way to creatively establish more credibility with them. Using names is great, dressing up is phenomenal, and then saying, hey, I've studied this for a while now. Show that as well from there. So You also got to be pretty specific. You said sustainability is a very attainable goal. I would ask for a little bit more specific there. Just don't leave your audience hanging, because if I'm an audience member and I'm listening to somebody talk about sustainability, I want to know, what can I personally do? So re-engage your audience at that point in time and say, here you go. What about collecting bottles and then taking them to the recycling center? How much time would you estimate that that would take? And chances are, whoever you're talking to would probably give you an overestimate of time. Oh, okay, it's 20 minutes. Really? Let me demonstrate something different. And then you're just showing them kind of small steps along the way that they can start to engage in sustainable practices. Good leaders convey that message to their listeners, and they get them on board quicker when they've got some specific things that they can follow behind the leader on. So I would say, just to enhance your 5-minute presentation, think about very, very specific things that you can address the board of directors with when we have this virtual final test at the end of the semester, or excuse me, in 4 weeks here. I wrote down here as well, this is probably my final note for you. Assume your audience is working from knowing nothing about sustainability. There was a point in time where you started to use what I kind of call educated lingo. I catch myself doing it every once in a while. I also call it nerd speak. But you used the phrase systemic mindset. And to the layperson, so they're going to say, okay, that sounds smart, but I have no idea what that means. So to engage your audience a little bit more, make sure that you're explaining those big terms as best as you can. So I think that's it. Great job overall. As you see, you got a 20 out of 20. Excellent work, Andrew. Keep up the good work.